So we have 8 consciousnesses arising in the openness. We have the 8 yanas. So we're up to the 7th. The 8th yana is the Anuyoga yana. And in the Anuyoga yana, all of this level of visualization of deities, mandala deities, pure palace, pure realm, are internalized. So the body is the pure realm. The chakra is the palace. The mandala and the deities are within the chakra and the petals and in the center of the flower. And we actually visualize, in the most complex versions of Anuyoga, you visualize the 8-petaled lotus in the heart, 16-petaled lotus in the navel, 32-petaled, 64-petal, and it goes, and the 1,000-petal lotus in the crown. You visualize all of the petals of the lotuses in each of the centers with deities in them. So this practice is done to really focus the mind on the subtle body and to open up the channels in the subtle body so that we can perceive the purity of Buddha nature within our own subtle body. So we're not just visualizing our physical body as the deity anymore. We're going into the subtle body with our mind. And we're seeing the subtle body as pure. We're seeing the channels as pure. We're seeing the winds that move through the channels as pure. We're seeing the mind which rides on the winds as pure. And in a way, this is a pure way of seeing body, speech, and mind. The channels are the body of the deity, the prana, or the winds of the speech of the deity, and the mind, the bindu, the tigle, which rides on the winds, is the mind of the deity. So we start to experience this when we're doing Anuyoga. We start to experience that our own subtle body is the home of the deity. So that's the 8th yana. Then we get to Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the 9th yana, and it's the openness. It's the openness that includes all of the other 8 yanas. Hatha Yoga in its purest form is the view of non-dual awareness. So at its highest view, there's different levels at which Hatha Yoga is taught. The view is the same throughout Hatha Yoga, the view of non-dual awareness. But there's different methods in which it's taught. So there's classes of teachings on the mind, in which you learn how the mind is non-dual. Teachings on the great expanse, in which you learn how openness is a symbol of non-duality. And then there are teachings on the pith instructions, in which you learn how to actually effectuate non-dual awareness in your meditation in a very pure way, in a very effortless way. And then all of these teachings come out of that. Teachings on other practices that require some effort, other practices within Dzogchen that are given from teacher to student. They're called the pith instructions. So they're teachings that really point out the nature of mind and give you methods to rest in the nature of mind and to achieve stability in that process of resting in the state of nature of mind, which is non-dual awareness, timeless awareness. So timeless awareness is free of anything that can be described. It's openness. There are aspects of timeless awareness that arise. There are the 5 wisdoms that arise in the central wisdom, which recognizes the Buddha nature as dharmata, or dharmadhatu. So there's the melong yeshe, the mirror-like wisdom. There's the wisdom of equality. There's the discriminating wisdom. There's the wisdom of all accomplishment. And they correspond to the 4 elements, they correspond to the 4 poisons of the mind, and they all arise in the openness of the wisdom of dharmata, of dharmadhatu. The wisdom of dharmakaya, recognizing dharmakaya as being the nature of mind. So, chuyin yeshe. So within the practice of Hatha Yoga, we use certain methods and certain recognitions that the teacher points out to us to see our own Buddha nature and to know our own Buddha nature through experience. And it's an experience that isn't a temporary experience that's experienced by a separate self. It's awareness itself, knowing itself as awareness. So the teachings on the primordial Buddha, Kuntuzangpo, is that Kuntuzangpo recognized everything that recognizes everything that arises as awareness. Kuntuzangpo is never deceived, never deluded into believing that things that are arising out there are separate from a self that's in here. So Kuntuzangpo is the name of, it means all goodness or all auspiciousness, is the name of the recognition that everything is awareness. So Kuntuzangpo is called the primordial Buddha, but Kuntuzangpo isn't some blue guy that lives in Dharmakaya. Kuntuzangpo is the recognition of the truth, the recognition that everything is awareness manifesting. The recognition that there's no division between self and other. There's no division between in and outer. There's no division between mind and space. So we have again this 8 yanas, which are all subsumed or contained within the 9th yana. The details of the 9th yana, like I said, they have to be pointed out by a teacher. They have to be taught to you in a way that leads you to the recognition of awareness itself, in yourself. That leads you to the recognition that awareness is your Buddha nature. And it's not some distant thing. It's not some awareness that's off in a pure realm. It's not some awareness that needs to be, manifested through a visualization of a deity. It's the very awareness that we're using right now to perceive, to experience. We think we're perceiving a world out there and experiencing a self in here, but it's awareness doing that. It's awareness perceiving awareness out there, and awareness experiencing awareness in here. So in that way, it's naked awareness. We've peeled away all of the layers from awareness to recognize that awareness is present in every moment. It's spontaneously present, and it's timelessly pure. It's undivided, and it pervades everything. It pervades all experience. The experience of others, the experience of self, everything that knows or can be known, everything that appears in the universe, and all of the possibilities. Everything that has appeared, everything that's appearing now, everything that might appear in the future is all awareness, without division. So it pervades all the 3 times, it pervades all physical manifestation, all non-physical manifestation, it pervades all the realms. It's undivided, and it pervades everything. And it's pure, completely pure. The very awareness that we're using to speak and listen and be in this room together is that pure awareness. And the fact that we can be in this moment and experience this moment is part of that awareness. We couldn't be here without awareness itself, because it is the openness in which all of this is happening.